prisons building widgets for whack and hut.
I'm not going to claim that the illegal drugs are any better or worse than the legal drugs. In a way, most of this is about how you use them, the context when you use them, and whether you use them responsibly in the right ways and for the right reasons.
When Shelly Martinez overdosed on muscle relaxers, she was pronounced dead on arrival at the emergency room.
I just remember looking up and it was really happening, and it was the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. And you know, we were told, people that were there said that my skin totally turned gray and they totally freaked out. And I'm here still. I'm here, and a lot of people don't get to still be here. A lot of people out there are taking their medication that the doctors are giving them, and they're here to talk about it. And it's really sad, especially because, you know what, there's a lot of talks out there about how cannabis is so wrong, and it's a drug, say no to drugs. But I don't know, last I checked, there's a combination, like Heath Ledger, he took a combo of pills, and look what happened to him.
Shelly reminisces about how a simple dried flower saved her life by breaking her addiction cycle to prescription medication.
Taking those pills put me in a really dark place with that. Whereas that's why when I say cannabis helped me more than just physically, like I said, the first time I got high, it took me back to a time, and I've been able to relive trauma even in my life on a more positive spin. Whereas before, I think another reason why I got so addicted to them was just being that low and being in that darkness. And it was awful. It was so awful, and it's not me at all. And I'm so glad to be out of it. That's why, like, I have a gajillion things wrong with me, but this one medicine, this great little plant, helps all of that. So I don't have to sit here with a gajillion bottles, and does this one combination with this one gonna make me dead or have a long-term side effect? It's awful. It's awful, and I'm glad that's not my life anymore.
So that's the Liberty Temple right there. That's where we gotta go. I'm gonna have you sit in the car though.
Aww.
I just lot of Rastafari. I'm in the right place.
I'll make up my own meeting. Hello, ma'am. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Cool beans. Cool. And your doctors know you have that?
Mm-hmm. Cool. How you doing,
hey,
my brother?
How you doing? Ed.
All right. Ed?
Ed.
T. Rogers.
T. Rogers?
You know what? Did y'all name that after me?
Oh, no.
OG
no, I know you're an old. I know you're an OG, but now OG Kush is a traditional name of some of the best herb in Southern California. Matter of fact, there's some OG right there.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got to. You got to smell this. Yeah.
If you can't smoke, then edibles. That's where you gotta go. You gotta go with the edibles.
Maybe it was the wrong thing. What is? Oh, this is peanut butter, huh?
Mm-hmm. You're into some chicken wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, check this out. This is a new one. Pot sauce. It's made out of marijuana. This right here is by a company called, I can't believe, is Pot Butter. Just the fact that they're not arresting anybody anymore and not targeting these dispensaries is great for patients. It's great for harm reduction of society.
Guys, why don't you do like a little transaction, and then we'll do like.
You want too much. You want too much.
Well,
there's just some.
You don't want anything.
There's some things I won't do on camera.
Okay.
For most dispensaries, it's business as usual. But when massive pharmaceutical companies risk losing billions of dollars to an herb, there's always going to be some politician willing to make an example out of someone.
There used to be a dispensary called Organica here, and as you can see behind me, the place just really only a shell right now.
They're basically, federal agents are organizing raids, getting state agencies to participate, federal agencies trying to close down clinics any way they can, using these agencies against California's state law, even state agencies, trying to find violations in any way they can, desperately grasping at straws to basically stop the industry from being.
Attempting to twist the meaning of Proposition 215, the LA District Attorney was trying to close any dispensary that was, quote, profiting.
Dispensaries dispensaries that make a sale over the counter are illegal. That's because many of them are for profit.
So who's profiting from this, or why are they?
I don't know. I don't think it's profit.
So who's
I think
doing it, or why is it
it's control. They want to control the industry. It's more about control.
So who's all behind this?
Who knows?
Who do you think is behind it?
Business, big business. Who else would be behind it? Capitalism at its finest.
During the past few months, a battle to reduce the amount of dispensaries had been escalating inside the Los Angeles City Council chamber. Now it seemed figures inside our local state government possessed the power to push marijuana sales back into the black market.
And we've got your little kiddies on Ritalin and Prozac. And we've got them filling out dossiers with the BATF on what type of firearms you own. Now that's what I call freedom. These face scanning cameras, police in black uniforms and ski masks. You take it from General Jack T. Ripper, your local head of Homeland Security. Giving up liberty always gives you tyranny. But when you hear me on the news, I'll say giving up liberty gives you security.
The Obama administration today announced a major policy change on marijuana. The Justice Department now says it will no longer enforce federal drug laws against people who use marijuana for medical reasons as long as they follow state laws.
First, the state said it was legal, but the feds kept raiding. Then Obama tells them to stand down, and then the state agencies start raiding using federal agents, and on and on and on.
Well, I guess for a lawyer, it's not bad news for you, right? I mean, it looks like you're going to have plenty of work in the future.
Well, I'm going to have plenty of work in the future, but I get daily calls. Hey, Bill, what's going on? Am I going to have to close my shop down? And my answer is, I can't tell you.
Only 3 days after the Obama announcement, our very own Craig X was raided. And because of being on probation from his last raid, he spent 7 nights in jail. Now being forced to sleep amongst the ruins of what used to be the Beverly Hills Green Cross and Temple 420, and with his wife living in a hotel, Craig meets with us for one last time.
The real names were Saraweta and Mallard. They have a doctor's note. They come in and we give them some biblical counseling. Then we provide them with medical marijuana.
Reuben is in big trouble. He was already on probation after being convicted previously of marijuana possession for sale.
They pointed a gun at an 11-year-old kid in my wife's t-shirt shop that they did not have a search warrant to come into.
Similar to Bonnie DeManis in San Diego, the Los Angeles DA, Steve Cooley, has now made it his mission to actively prosecute the medical marijuana industry.
They're frauds and they're corrupt, and they should be pursued by those in positions of law enforcement authority.
I personally believe Carmen Trutanich and Stephen Cooley are satanic and belong in jail. These guys don't listen to the will of the people, and they should see what it's like to go to their own jails that they're trying to send people to. This was a total setup.
And yet at the same time, that withdrawing of the federal threat has created a great deal of uncertainty at the local level, because local police officers and sheriff's departments are now moving to fill a void that was previously filled by the federal enforcement.
And case after case has come out in California and the other 13 states that have decriminalized marijuana, where the police are caught raiding dispensaries and taking, say, $100,000 in cash, but keeping $50,000 for themselves.
These guys are thieves. They're organized criminal thieves. And it's my belief that the narcotics division of the LAPD has stolen millions of dollars over the years, because all the people I know who keep getting arrested for drugs keep going, yeah, they don't report all the money they took them on. I had 10 grand. They said I only had 4 grand.
Do you smoke?
Yes, I do smoke.
When was the last time you did?
10 minutes ago.
In early December, after months of endless hearings, the entire country watches as members from both sides of the debate meet on the steps of City Hall for what could be the deciding fate of many LA-based dispensaries and the entire medical marijuana movement.
How is the spirit of collectivism evident when people just walk in and pay money across the table and get marijuana? What is a collective about that?
Well, first of all, they don't just walk in and get marijuana. They have to become a member of the collective before they.
What does that constitute, though? What does that amount to? Simply signing a piece of paper and then you're a member of the collective?
Well, a collective comes from the idea of a cooperative. I mean, it's both collectives and cooperatives. So if you look at any other cooperative throughout the state, for instance, REI is a cooperative. If you go to REI, you can go in and buy camping equipment. You don't have to actually assist in the production of that camping equipment in order to go.
guys hope to achieve today?
We hope that the city council does the right thing and rejects the advice of the city attorney and allows for sales of medical marijuana through medical marijuana dispensaries as the legislature intended.
The thoughtful folks at the City of Los Angeles attempt to stop a wheelchair-bound person from medicating. How much more responsible can people attempt to be in regards to consuming a dry flower? Can you imagine if people had to pay $100 per year for a doctor's card in order to buy a six-pack of beer?
I'm apparently doing the wrong thing.
Did he tell you to put out the joint?
Yeah, I'm just trying to medicate before I go in. I just didn't think it was
What did he say to you?
said it's the wrong time. I just was preparing to be in there for about 5 hours.
Did he say who he's with?
Doesn't really matter. When you're not welcome, you're not welcome.
With dispensaries popping up left and right, the Los Angeles City Council shocked the citizens with a harsh ruling.
After months of debate, the LA City Council finally lighting up an ordinance on medical marijuana. As John Schmatter reports, the restrictions are so tough, proponents claim they're being snuffed out.
On a 9-3 vote, the council barred medical marijuana dispensaries from operating within 1,000 feet of schools, churches, even residential areas. The council also voted to limit the number of clinics.
This was some rather dark news right before Christmas for some 800-plus dispensary owners.
It means that there will be as low as 70 and no more than 137 of them, versus the up to 1,000 that we saw. They were popping up like popcorn on every block.
And instead of having lots of little neighborhood dispensaries that lower prices for everybody, you're going to see prices explode. This is the monopoly capitalism that the New World Order brings.
Even though the Los Angeles ruling felt like a setback, there was no way of stopping the yearly harvest that was simultaneously flooding the market, a market that our government refuses to regulate. Ultimately, zoning laws and restrictions will never stop anyone from using an herb, but it will keep the distribution in the black market, obviously where the government and its corporate overlords want it to be.
The man on the corner, the one they was calling a drug dealer. But, you know.
So are all these dispensaries bad for your business?
Definitely. I'm not in favor of no dispensaries, or no collectives, or none of that shit. I want everybody to come to me. I got the better shit anyway.
If my children were out on the mean streets of LA, a marijuana dispensary would be the least of my worries. It reminded me of something that Brett Bogue's 19-year-old daughter had told me.
Well, I don't think that I got her smoking because I think she'll tell you honestly that she's tried it, but that I don't think. Well, tell me.
It's not something that I do. I mean, I've been around it my entire life. I lived with a boyfriend that did it, and for other reasons, and it's just not something I enjoy.
4:20 exactly.
Either way, it was time to go to the Smoke Fest, where our friend Mary Taylor from Austin, Texas, meets up with the real Freeway Ricky Ross, who had just been released from 15 years in federal prison.
Oh my God, look, this is the Ricky Ross.
Hey, what's
and
happening?
This is the first time that we're meeting in person. Yeah. Oh my God!
Featured in our last film, American Drug War, Ricky was known as the Walmart of crack, whose cocaine supplier ended up being our very own CIA.
You are at Smokeout. Yeah. Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
Selling it. Do you think it's going to take a lot of money out of the hands of the gangs if they legalize it?
Well, you know, prohibition drives the price up on everything. So if you take the profit out of it, nobody wants to sell it.
Yeah.
For the record, Ricky does not partake in any drugs and is actually a vegan. But it's interesting to see his reaction to thousands of people smoking in clear view of law enforcement.
Yeah, a lot of things have changed since I went around, you know.
It's a new day.
It's a new day. Americans are waking up and they're taking off the chains. So there it is.
2009, Smokeout, 2009, LA.